Okay, here we go. World of Warships, and I am driving my American Tier 7 cruiser, the USS Pensacola. Good ship, if you like the guns on the ship. A so-so ship if you're trying to stay kind of stealthy, and again, a so-so ship if you think you can bounce a lot of shots from battleships and the like. Not that cruisers are known for doing that, just the Pensacola seems to not have the armor. So anyway, yeah, Lumpy's on the chat, and he's talking about just making a YOLO run up through the channel there, but that's kind of iffy. But take a look at the mini map. You will notice that our team is pulling a general right to port and towards D. And as I say in the chat, hey, nobody else is going to A. Probably should go to D instead. If there's a lemming train going on, the proper thing to do is hang out with the rest of the lemmings. So again, with that in mind, let's go back and talk about the Pensacola a little bit. The Pensie's a decent cruiser. It's got good guns. It's got the 8-inch guns. And I was actually reaching for my fighter there, and I accidentally hit my defensive fire cooldown. Big mistake on my part. But anyway, Pensie's got good guns. Again, the 8-inch 203mm guns, I think it is. And again, the armor is so-so, but the problem is the Pensacola is spotted so often from so far out that it tends to be the first thing fired on, because again, it does get to be the first thing spotted. So if you notice, I've been kind of putzing around a little bit with my speed at this point, because I don't want to drive in towards the D at the front of the conga line there. Now we've got this Alba out in front of us, along with the Kirishima, and the two of them are pushing D. And you'll notice I came in chat and said, "Hey, push D hard, lemmings, because if we don't, we are going to get rolled around and rolled over from the A point before we can get anything done." So going back to the Pensacola, anyway, I've got a high explosive load right now because again, the 8-inch HE shells hit hard. But again, I'm also worried about getting spotted from way out. But since I've got targets in range and smoke between me and those targets, you know what? Hey, no problem putting shots out right now. So again, going back to the issue with the Pensacola, it gets spotted from so far. And again, according to Wargaming, it's because the mast sits so high. If the mast didn't sit as high, then maybe it wouldn't. It's got a shorter view range, and it's my understanding that a modification made to the Pensacola's hull in historically, they cut that big tall mast off, and they actually put a shorter mast in place. Now, right now my team's focusing fire on this Koenig, and I was thinking about shifting targets, but then I see the Koenig running into the Nagato, and at that point I'm thinking, all right, get a few more shots at the Koenig, and who knows, I may get lucky and start some fires. So, but going back to the Pensacola. The American destroyers, if you start, and I think it's starting at tier 6, if you equip the B hull, you get a boost in your anti-aircraft, the C hull, you get a boost in your anti-aircraft rating. You also get, you lose a turret, a main battery turret, but you gain the defensive fire cooldown ability, which normally only cruisers have. And I'm thinking that maybe the Pensacola would be served better if you gave it a C hull option, where you gained you lost the radius at which you could be detected. But if you chose to keep the B hull option, then you could keep this huge mast on here with the huge detection radius. But on top of that, you'd get the radar consumable. Just a thought. So, anyway, I'm shooting at this Koenig instead of the Nagato, simply because the Koenig's low health and the Nagato was on fire. And there you go. I get a kill. I take the Nagato down. And I'm glad to put the extra shots out on the Koenig because, again, like I said, I wanted to get the shots out on him, see if I can set him on fire and just help whittle him down. So I'm coming around, swinging in, getting ready to swing into the D point, and hopefully I can actually help pick up some cap as well while I'm here. So the Koenig is behind the island, no angles on him, but there's the Texas. So I'm thinking, all right, well, nope. And then I don't, for some reason, shoot at the Bliskovica that's out there. I think at the time I was thinking he was actually behind the island, but when I finally get around to actually seeing what's going on here in a few seconds, but not to mention the fact I wanted to also work on the Koenig. Okay, there's Bliskovica. Oh, he is on this side of the island, and that's what I was thinking. So I put the shots out, and not badly aimed. Would have preferred to hit him towards the rear, just because, maybe set him on fire at that end. And well, anyway, there we go. Somebody else sets him on fire at the rear, and now he's starting to pull forward again. So I just go ahead and put a shot way out in front of him, and don't quite drop it in there because he was turning, but that's okay. Put a few more shots down range, and nope. Again, not quite. And these last 3 ships I was shooting at, 3 or 4 ships shooting at, they just died. So anyway, my defensive fire is off cooldown, and it's at this point I noticed this strike package coming in from the enemy CV. So I trigger the defensive fire cooldown because I'm thinking, oh crap, they're going to come right after me, especially since I don't have much maneuvering room. But nope, they just drive right past me, or fly right past me. So take a look at the map. Again, as you should always be doing, take a look at the mini-map. And I'm looking at what's going on down near the sea point. And we've got the enemy destroyer, that Mutsuki, that we see out in the distance, plus a couple of cruisers and a couple of battleships, or that are coming in, and we just don't have anybody back there helping out the team. So those 5 ships should be able to push hard against our friendlies, and if they do, well, they should be able to sink that destroyer. And we got a second destroyer that's hiding down near the down on the J line, but it's really going to be a matter of whether or not they can best concentrate their mass versus us being able to concentrate our mass. And sure enough, we're about to lose a valuable asset, because you notice that strike package, it's hitting down towards our CV, and we just lost our Kirov class cruiser. We managed to swap for a Mahan, which is okay, but our Independence just went down as well. So I see the enemy strike package come back, and I'm thinking, all right, let's go ahead and sail as close as we can to it. And I'm kind of cursing myself for not having saved my defensive fire cooldown, but at the time it seemed like a reasonable option. So I'm opening up on these guys as best I can. I get 1 aircraft shot down, and that's it. Now Lumpy, he's in the chat, and Lumpy's he is driving our Scharnhorst, and he's got the Confederate, and he's like, well, whoa, okay, cool. And then I'm looking for stuff to shoot at, but at the same time I don't want to get into it too close into gun range, because I do not want to be opened up on by, well, basically every enemy out there. So pick up a few hits on the I don't even remember which battleship that was I was shooting at. Take a couple of blind shots at the enemy destroyer, just hoping to get lucky there. And now the only thing really in range is this Königsberg. Now I'm shooting HE still, and I'm trying to line my shot up. do get some hits. Now, but at this point in the game, again, I'm still firing HE. At this point, I'm thinking, all right, should I have loaded armor piercing against the Königsberg? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure who was shooting back at. Probably me. But yeah, at this point, I'm thinking he's, looking back on it, I'm sure that I should have loaded armor piercing at this point. But the HE is doing its job. It's getting good hits, and it's doing good damage. But unfortunately, I'm driving myself out of attack range, gun range on this guy here, and our Hatsuharu takes down the Königsberg. So somebody else I'm shooting at that gets exploded before my shots land. So, all right, well, I'm not too worried about it because I've got about 50,000 damage that I've done so far. But here's the problem: we're holding, we're holding one cap point. We're losing points from one. We're not gaining points for Charlie, although the enemy's not gaining points for Bravo. But the scores are extremely close. We're only off by 10 points between the two of us. So now it's just a matter of not doing anything super stupid, not getting myself killed, hoping the bad guys are shooting at other targets that probably that they might think are easier targets. So just not shooting at me, and that's really what's going to make a difference here. So I had two choices here. I could have gone to the left of this island or to the right, and I choose to go around to the right because I don't want to close the distance to that enemy Scharnhorst and the Pensacola at the same time, even though at this point they could be both shooting at me. So I'm waiting to come around the island, and I am going to turn back into, back towards the Charlie point here in a moment. But first, I'm just going to get some shots lined up on the Scharnhorst. And now I see that Pensacola moving roughly in my direction. So I need to do two things. One, I need to not give up broadsides to anybody, whether it's the Pensacola or the Scharnhorst, and I do dodge a salvo from the Scharnhorst. And second, I need to turn around and start working on whichever ship I can. So put into a hard left, get a fire set on the Pensacola, and I take some minor damage again. Put more HE out on the Pensacola, and I notice, you know what, he's coming in real close. Oh, and that horrible shot, poorly aimed. He's coming in close. He's going to be actually giving me his broadside in a moment. So if he does that, I'm going to be ready for him. Armor piercing loaded up. Shots out. Swing my front end towards him. Get a citadel. Take a good chunk of his health off. So let's see if I can't swing back out. Oh, crap. He just saved a couple of shots. That's okay. And I take a citadel in return. And I do a pretty poor job of putting rounds down range. But I've got help against this guy from a friendly BB just to my south. So, angle is going to be a little awkward. He's low health anyway. We'll put out HE, and he turns. They all miss. And again, I want to take down the Pensacola as soon as possible. Okay, well, that works for me. Friendly takes him down, or Kirishima takes him down, which means don't have to worry about him. The idea, though, behind taking down the Pensacola at that point was that he was a low health target. Get him out of the game. Keep his guns from firing any longer. Now, we are up at this point by about 50 points. But it is, and we control 3 cap circles, but it is still close. And we've got ships in vulnerable areas. And our the enemy Scharnhorst is out there. He's going to take fire. And our Hatsuharu hits him again. I think it's our Hatsuharu. Yeah, sure was. And he is flooding down, and he dies. Our Scharnhorst finishes him off. Lumpy, good on him. All right, so the only problem is now Lumpy has got himself hanging out in the breeze in the Charlie point, and he is about to eat some torps. And sure enough, there he goes. He's flooding down now. Oops, he was flooding, hit his repair ability, and then he got dive bombed. Okay, so we got 3 ships up. We've got the Hatsuharu, we got the Kirishima, and we've got me. I am out of position to chase that enemy destroyer and the Mutsuki. Okay, but Lumpy is pretty confident that we've got it right now. I'm pretty confident we've got it right now, except for the fact that this Mutsuki is, well, he's on pretty good health. So I'm trying to put shots out at him, and this was not a well-aimed salvo. Led him a bit too much and brought it in short. And the last thing I want to do right now is hang myself up on the rocks or on the beach and leave myself to be a sitting target. So swing back out, try to bring all my guns to bear. Okay, there we go. The Mutsuki just took down the Hatsuharu, friendly Hatsuharu, and again, my shots just plain miss. And now the Kirishima is giving his broadside to a destroyer. And I'm like, no. But my salvo hits, well, sorry, 1 target from my salvo hits, and now I've got an armed destroyer just off my bow. Okay, put shots into him. Okay, I set 2 fires on the guy and get the kill. Alright, that was super important, okay, because now it's me versus a CV. And here comes the CV strike package on me. I've got 1 defensive fire cooldown left, and I activate it. And let's dodge, let's weave. Okay, crap, here comes torpedoes, and cue the torpedo beats, baby. Yeah. Okay. And we've got a dive bomber coming in, but a dive bomber against an American cruiser. That's it. Okay. We've got this. We have got coming up on 900 points. And I know the enemy carrier is just around the corner over there. It's just a question of, how much health he's got left. And, well, actually, more a question of how many aircraft he's got left. So, well, I see some fighters. And I don't know what his plan is for them. But there he is, okay? And now they're in the chat. There's somebody's like, run away, watch out for the torps. They are all completely right about that. But again, at this point, I just need to not do anything stupid. So, carriers come around the corner, light him up with some HE, and I'm firing a little short on him. Don't quite lead him enough. Jeez, come on. And let's see, he's getting even closer, and I definitely fire the wrong angle on him. I should have put it to the left of his bow. There you go. And I get a good hit. And I'm waiting for my, waiting for my guns to reload, and oh crap, again, let's not run into the island. I know he's running out of time, but we'll see what we can do. And 1 last salvo goes in, and that's about it. So with that, let's take a look at the post-game stats. I was actually kind of surprised to see how well I done, because I really wasn't watching the damage counter. I wasn't really watching much else that was going on. I was just, trying to react to the situation on the map. I wasn't looking at aside from the points, I wasn't looking at the strategic situation. But 4,300 experience, 218 base experience, 103,000 damage. I picked up a second Citadel against that CV at the end of it, and I think I also set him on fire right at the end there. Picked up a Sky in Flames, or towards a Sky in Flames, but overall, not too shabby. 111 gun hits. I should have actually done a little better. Some of those shots were not very well aimed. 16 aircraft shot down, 12 base defenses, 4 in caps, two enemies destroyed. Assisted capping 1 base, but going to the second to the second screen, the again base experience ended up on the top 2,800 base experience, but you got to shout out to Lumpy and the Scharnhorst, 2,663 experience. Just an absolute great game on his part. He just missed getting a Kraken, but again, the Rujo on the enemy team, he did the best job I think he could. He had three kills. The Mutsuki on the enemy team, 4 kills. Very close match at the end. And again, if I hadn't hit that Mutsuki with my last salvo, I think my only choice at that point would have been to run away and try to get lucky to kill the Ryujo. The Mutsuki would have had a hard time chasing me down from behind. The Pensacola is reasonably fast, especially compared to the Mutsuki. So we probably would have pulled the win out anyway, provided, of course, I didn't do something stupid like get myself rammed or run into a stray torpedo or something. So going to the detailed report, well, I sank the Nagato and I sank the Mutsuki with a good salvo on him. But again, I think I was lucky because I should have been shooting better at him. But shot down 17 aircraft. It did a little bit of damage here and there to pretty much everything. But if you look here, 57,000 damage from high explosive shells. Only one real good hit from my armor piercing. That one citadel against the enemy Pensacola. I probably would have behooved me to just stick with HE the whole time, except maybe against that Königsberg. So, but 35,000 of fire damage. Again, no complaints there. So going to the final screen credits. Well, 200,000 credit profit. 2,800 base experience plus some bonuses gives me 4,300 experience to the ship, and then a little bit of an extra bonus, another about 4,500 experience for the commander. So overall, a pretty good game. And again, the main thing with the Pensacola is don't be the first one spotted. It's hard, especially if you're on a side where you're going to end up leading the charge, simply because you can be spotted from so far out. And if you are spotted from that far out, then everybody, of course, first ship spotted, every gun on the map's going to turn towards you, and you're just going to have to deal with everything that they throw at you. This particular match, I hardly got shot at. Again, going back to the detailed report, I only took 12,500 damage, so about maybe about a third of my health. But I attribute that to not having gone out and got shot at the very beginning of the match. So, was I hanging back? Yeah, I was hanging back a little bit, but did I contribute after hanging back? Oh yeah. So, and I had the health at the end of the game when I really, really needed it. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed the replay, and I guess I will talk to you later. Bye.